Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, oh neighbor, you have to have a life that shows. Yeah. Church, we live in a world that likes to base stuff on evidence. Facts are considered facts because there is some evidence to prove them. Truth is truth because there is evidence to prove it. But now we live in a time when folks aren't looking at the facts. Folks aren't looking at the evidence. They are defending their own opinion despite what the facts say and what the evidence is. But how many know that God is still a God of truth? God is still a God of facts, and God still is a God of evidence. Somebody shout evidence. But what is evidence? Evidence is the proof that something is true. Evidence is the proof that what has been stated is truth. Evidence is the proof that what has been spoken is true. Evidence is the proof. The proof. And we serve a God who loves to provide us with evidence. We serve a God that loves to provide us with proof. Someone might ask you why you believe that God is real. And if you are a child of God, you are the proof. Somebody might ask you, is Jesus really saving sinners? And if you're a child of God, saved and forgiven, you are the proof. Someone might ask you if God can really turn lives around. And if you're a child of God, guess what? You are the proof. And someone might ask if God can deliver you out of the claws of Satan. And if you are delivered, a child of God, you are the proof. God provides us with proof. God provides us with evidence that he is who he says he is and can do what he says he can do. God provides us with the proof that he can do whatever he says. God provides us with the proof that he will do what he promised you. And if I took a poll this morning to show someone the proof that God is who he says he is and can do what he says he can do, there are some people in the house that are the proof. There are some people in the house who are the evidence. There are some people in the house who can testify to the fact that God is who he says he is and he can do what he says he can do. Oh, where is the evidence in the house? Is the evidence in the house that God is a healer? Is there evidence in the house that God is a deliverer? Is there evidence in the house that God is a provider? Is there evidence in the house that God is a protector? Is there evidence in the house that God can forgive sin? Is there evidence in the house that God is a God of another chance? Is there evidence in the house that God can save your soul and make you whole? Is there evidence in the house that God will put food on your table and put clothes on your back? Is there any evidence in the house that God can pay your bills? Is there any evidence in the house that God can give you peace, give you joy, give you a new heart, give you a renewed mind? Is there any evidence in the house that if you give, he will bless you? Shake down, turn it over, and run it over. Is there any evidence in the house that God can give you a brand new life? To the point that you can say, things I used to do, I don't do no more. Places I used to go, I don't go no more. Is there any evidence in the house? Has he changed anybody's life? Has he blessed anybody's life? Has he transformed anybody's life? Is he blessed anybody in the house? Has he healed anybody? Has he blessed anyone? Has renewed? God has given the evidence, and the evidence is in our lives. We are the evidence. You are the evidence that God is a healer. You are the evidence that God is a provider. You are the evidence that Jesus is Lord. You are the evidence that God is real, alive, and well. You are the evidence that Jesus is the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. You are the evidence that Jesus is the King of glory. You are the evidence that he can take a sinner who was on their way to a burning hell, forgive them, save them, sanctify them, fill them with his spirit, and transform them. You are the evidence. So when somebody looks at you, if you are saved, when somebody looks at you, they are looking at the evidence of who God is. The evidence of what God can do. The evidence of the awesomeness of God. The evidence of the power of you are the evidence. Tell your neighbor, you are the evidence. Yeah, that's why we find Jesus declaring in this text, you are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on the candlestick, and it giveth light unto all in the house. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Jesus said, let your light so shine. Not just shine, but so shine. In other words, let your light shine so much before people that they may see your good works and glorify your Father. Why? Because you are the evidence. You are the evidence. You are the evidence. That's why you are blessed, because you are the evidence. That's why you have favor, because you are the evidence. That's why you are forgiven, because you are the evidence. That's why you have been blessed beyond measure, because you are the evidence. That's why you've been given another chance, because you are the evidence. That's why God has worked some stuff out for you that you didn't think could be worked out, because he's proven himself in your life. Somebody say, I am the evidence. I am the evidence. Yeah, you are the evidence that God is good. You are the evidence that God is God. You are the evidence that God is a healer. You are the evidence that God is a provider. You are the evidence that God is a protector. You are the evidence. You are the evidence. I am the evidence. So make sure that if you're going to be evidence, that you are strong evidence. Yeah, make sure you're strong evidence. See, when a trial goes to court, the lawyers have to determine whether they have weak evidence or strong evidence. You see, what is weak evidence? Weak evidence is kind of wishy-washy. It's questionable. Weak evidence is full of questions and doubt. See, weak evidence cannot withstand the test of the cross-examination. When people start asking questions and they start showing up, wait a minute, weak evidence can't handle cross-examination because there's a whole lot of holes and inconsistencies in the story. In other words, a weak evidence, what you say and what folks see ain't the same thing. Tell your neighbor, don't be weak evidence. Yeah, weak evidence is wishy-washy, questionable, left a whole lot of questions, but be strong evidence. Because strong evidence is undeniable proof. Strong evidence cannot be shaken. Strong evidence can handle the scrutiny. Strong evidence can handle the cross-examination. Strong evidence can handle the doubters and the haters and handle the talk and the chatter. Strong evidence can handle all of the questions. Let me do it this way. The man that was born blind in John chapter 9 was healed by Jesus on the Sabbath day. The folks asked the man who was born blind, how do you now see? How were your eyes open? The man said, a man that is called Jesus came, made clay and anointed my eyes and told me to go to the pool of Siloam and wash. And I went and washed and I received my sight. The folk took the man to the Pharisees and he told the story. Some of the Pharisees got upset and got mad because Jesus had done this on the Sabbath. The Pharisees, they got upset because Jesus had healed him on the Sabbath day and it was considered work on the Sabbath. The Pharisees asked the man who was born blind, what do you say about this man who gave you your sight? The man said, Jesus, he's a prophet. The Jews didn't believe him. They called his parents and interrogated his parents, and their parents said, parents, what's up with this? Who is this man that has healed this boy? The parents said, look, all I know is this. This is my son, and he was born blind. But how he gained his sight, we don't know. And who opened his eyes, we don't know. But guess what? He's old enough. Let him speak for himself. Ask him, and he'll tell you what happened. They called the man who was born blind in again and said, look, give God the praise, give God the glory, because we know that this man that you call Jesus is a sinner because he did it on the Sabbath. And the man being born blind looked at the Jews and said, look, whether he's a sinner, be a sinner or not, I don't know. One thing I know, I once was blind, but now I see. In other words, you may not know who he is. You may question who he is. You can debate all you want on who he is. But one thing I know, this is what I know for myself. Don't nobody can tell me nothing about what happened to me. I once was blind, but now I see. Say what you want about him. Talk about him all you want to. But I will forever be undeniable proof. I will forever be an example. I will forever be his example. I will forever be his evidence, because I once was blind, but now I see. He said, I am the evidence. I am the evidence. I'm strong evidence. You can talk about it all you want to, but here's the proof. I couldn't see, but I can see now. Ask me all the questions that you want to. I cannot be shaken. I can handle the scrutiny. I can handle the haters. I can handle the doubters. I can handle cross-examination, because I know for myself I once was blind, but now I see. Talk about him all you wanna. Talk about me all you wanna. I am the evidence. I am the evidence. I once was blind, but now I see. Is there anybody in the house that can say without a shadow of a doubt, I was a sinner, it's undone, but now I'm saved. I was a sinner on my way to hell, but now I'm saved. I was hurting, but God forgave me. I was hurting, but God healed me. Is there any evidence? Any evidence? Any evidence in the house? In other words, Jews, y'all might not know Jesus. Y'all might not believe in him. But look at my life. I have a life that shows. Church, you ought to have a life that shows. Your life should show the power of God. Your life should show the glory of God. Your life should should show the mercy of God. Your life should show the presence of God. Your life should show the favor of God. Your life should show the forgiveness of God. The man born blind had a life that showed. Paul had a life that showed. He persecuted Christians. He hated Christians. But when God got through working on Paul, he was preaching the gospel of the same Jesus that he once persecuted. The woman with the issue of blood had a life that showed. She'd been sick for 38 long years and heard that Jesus was in town. She pressed her way through the crowd saying, if I could just touch the hem of his garment, I shall be made whole. She worked her way through the crowd and she touched the hem of his garment. And how many know that the Lord healed her? The Lord healed her. And in this world full of sin, in this world full of hate, in this world full of evil, we need to be the evidence of the goodness of God, the evidence of the love of God, the evidence of the grace of God. We ought to be the evidence. The evidence. God is dependent on us to be the evidence of what he can do. God is dependent on us to be the evidence of how awesome he is. Because when Jesus suffered, bled, and died on Golgotha's hill, he endured our punishment and eternal penalty of sin. But early on Sunday morning, he got up with all power in his hand. He got up as the evidence. He got up as the proof that God had made a way for all of us. He got up as a life that shows. He got up as a life that shows. And because he has a life that shows, I have help in the midst of my problem. Because he has a life that shows, I have forgiveness when I make some mistakes. Because he has a life that shows, I have power to overcome anything. Because he has a life that shows, I can get healing from my body. Because he has a life that shows. Question, church. Do you have a life that shows? Do you have a life that shows? If someone charged you for being a Christian and they followed you around all week long, not on Sunday, all week long, would there be enough evidence to convict you for being a child of the Most High God? We are the evidence. And we have to live before people so they can see the evidence of God in our lives. Because God is looking for some people who will be the evidence. Look at me. I was sent on my way to hell, doing a whole lot of stuff I ain't had no business doing. But God saved me, and he turned my life around. Can I get a witness? Can I get a witness? Listen. Don't let anybody shake your faith. Don't let anybody, what's the point of the message? Don't let anybody shake your faith. You know what God has done for you. You know what God has worked through for you. You know how God works some stuff out. If you got some doubters on your job, you be evidence. If you got some doubters in your house, you be the evidence. If you got some doubters hanging out with you, you be the evidence. You know how God has worked things out in your life. You are the evidence of what the Lord can do. Listen, you might not believe my brother, but I know what he's done for me. You might might not believe, my sister, but I love you. But guess what? I know it's working for me. I say it's working for me. I say it's working for me. I say it's working for me. I can tell you what I've been through. I can tell you what happened, and I can tell you how God showed up. I say it's working for me. You can roll your eyes all you want, but I know it's working for me. I'm blessed and highly favored. I'm blessed and highly favored. I know I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. I say it's working for me. I remember being on my sick bed, and God raised me on my sick bed. He brought me through all my surgeries. I say it's working for me. I say it's working for me. I am the evidence. I am the evidence. And you are the evidence of what the Lord can do. You are the evidence of what the Lord can. You are the evidence. Lift up your head, O ye gates, and be ye lifted up, the everlasting, and the King of glory shall come in. What you saying, preacher? No matter what's going on in your life, lift up your head and look to the hills from which cometh your help. Your help coming from the Lord, because you are the evidence. That's why when things are going on and things are happening, you give God the praise anyhow. That's why when things ain't going like you want to go, you give God the praise anyhow. That's why even Job said, though he slay me, yet will I trust him. Even in the midst of what I'm going through, I can still give him praise because he brought me this far. And if he don't do nothing else for me, he's done enough. He's done enough. Because no matter what happens, when I close my eyes, I'm going to be in his presence. No matter what happens, when I close my eyes, I'm going to be in his presence. No matter what happens on this side of the world. I'm blessed anyway. I may be going through, but I'm blessed anyhow. Because I know who's got my back. I know who takes care of me. I know who heals my body. I know who restores my mind. I know. Like the man born blind. Say what you want to, Pharisees. Talk all you want to, Pharisees. Doubt all you want to, Pharisees. All I know is I once, now you might not understand your story, but I'm fully convinced of my story. And can't nobody take my story from me. I once was blind, but now I see. I am the evidence. I am the evidence. I am. Somebody say, I am the evidence. 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 On my job, I am the evidence. On my home, I am the evidence. Before my children, I am the evidence of what the Lord can do. Give God praise in the house. Yeah, I am the evidence. I'm the evidence. Jesus said, let your light shine. That is so. I want you, look, I want your light to shine so bright that folk will look at what you're doing and say, there's got to be a God in heaven. I want your light to shine so much that people can see what you're doing and trust and believe in your God. I want your light to shine so much that even your haters got to think about what you might be doing right. I want your light to shine so much that even the people people who don't like you got to respect you. Tell your neighbor, let your light shine. Don't cover up your light. If Jesus said let your light shine, then don't cover up your light. Don't be ashamed of what God has done in your life. Tell somebody. I'm blessed, Lord. No, I look, don't take no credit for none of it, because it won't you. Give God the, how in the world did you work that out? Let me tell you, man, the Lord did that thing. How did you figure that out? Look here, I didn't figure it out. The Lord told me what to do. Lord, you show how smart. No, I ain't that smart. I can't take credit for that. That was the Lord. His name is Jesus. Do you know him? You are the evidence. Be the evidence that God has ordained you to be. Be the evidence. God wants you to know that you are his evidence. You are his proof. You are the proof. You might be talking to an atheist. They tell you there ain't no God. You tell, oh, yes, there is. I'm the proof. Yeah, you might not believe, but I can tell you, I know it is. Because why? I know that my Redeemer liveth. And I know what he's done for me. Like the man born blind say, I once was blind. I ain't forgot where I come from. I ain't forgot what I've been through. And I ain't forgot how much it hurt. But I thank God I ain't living that life no more. Because now I see. Come on, give God praise. There might be somebody here today unsaved, unchurched. If you don't know Jesus as your Lord and Savior, come on, meet me at the altar. This is a serious time that you might give your life to Jesus Christ. He's calling. He's calling.